everybody, and welcome back to another episode of First and Last. My name is Josh, and with me this week I've got Joe.
Hey, man.
And Jimmy.
What's up?
And Michelle.
Howdy.
Hello.
Twist.
It never... And... No.
And Claire and all of her brothers.
No.
Just kidding, they're banned for life. I know you're listening.
It's like a mega episode.
Yeah, shake your cartridge.
Yeah, I'm checking out my. We were just at Menards.
to get a cartridge. Are you gonna buy a new cartridge?
Shower cartridge? Yeah. What was that about? Actually, is that about the shower being too hot? I need to check out
that
my
your shower
cartridge?
like
You don't remember
gets
what your problem
uncontrollably
was?
hot. Apparently, it's something wrong with your cartridge. And apparently, showers have cartridges.
Yeah, I don't know,
News
what
to
that
me.
means.
I just nodded my head like I knew what they were talking about, and I was like, "Oh yeah, the shower cartridge. It's probably that."
Yeah, probably check that out.
Totally. Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. I'm a homeowner. I know about cartridges.
I
Oh,
think
I
I have
love
to
it.
remove a wall to get at whatever.
Yeah, I mean, just last week I took out the cartridge and just like blew in it and then put it back. Totally worked.
Played
Works
duck
fine.
hunt while I took a
It was
shower.
a little fuzzy, but it worked.
Yeah.
Took it out, blew on it again.
Exactly.
You got the little pads for it with the little cleaning solution that's like $20 a bottle for 4 ounces.
Is that? Are you talking about a real thing? Is that?
Yeah, you know the Nintendo used to sell these little pads that perfectly fit your game cartridge, and then this little cleaning solution which was just like alcohol and water, and it was like $20 for this little bottle that
We had
was
'em.
literally just you could get this out of your closet now and make this yourself.
I've never heard of trying to wipe it. I've only
And it was
I've only
Nintendo
ever tried to
brand.
blow.
Oh, yeah,
man,
you could
gotta wipe.
legitimately with the thing. You could just have isopropyl alcohol and a Q-tip, and you could do
Yeah.
exactly what that like $30 solution from Nintendo
Yeah.
was.
That probably
But it
makes
said
more
Nintendo.
sense than blowing, though, right? Like you're just
You're actually
the
cleaning it, yeah.
stuff off of it. Yeah.
Yeah, you're getting the dust out of your shower cartridge.
I mean, because is that how you dust your home? You just blow on all the surfaces.
Yeah, just blowing at everything.
Just soak it into your lungs. I just suck.
Suck it in.
I didn't. You can't hear me. Was that really
Yeah.
loud? How are my waves on that when I sucked into the microphone? I guess it's better than blowing.
It was the perfect amount
We'll
of
add
volume.
reverb to it so it really sings.
Just add some effects right there.
Won't do it.
Vacuum sound.
Won't do it. Joe, this isn't a dusting podcast or how to shake Jimmy's shower cartridge. Also, Michelle, remind him to fix the shower cartridge because we're going to talk about it for months on this podcast if he doesn't finally do it.
Hey,
Easily.
fix our shower.
Sounds like a winter project, like a December, January.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's
that does sound great.
late
for winter.
September in Minnesota. It's basically winter. Joe, what is first and last for any newcomers?
Welcome to your favorite new TV pod, where we watch only the first episode of a show and only the last episode, and nothing in between, and judge the show based on the merits of how it began and ended. It's like how you should judge most meals, right? Like it's just first bite and last bite.
First bite, last bite.
You were talking about eating food
Meal
and how
pod.
you like eat food
A
like
sandwich
kind of
food?
like symmetrical. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like and I was eating probably a couple times this week and I was like, God, I eat like Joe, I think.
You gotta make sure that last bite is like just right.
Yeah. Yeah, I was like, I definitely eat like Joe.
Or it might be okay if the last bite is like fat and carbs. I feel like that like it's a good way to round out a meal too. If it's just like bread and cheese at the end of your thing, like that
Are you
works out too.
satisfied with that?
I'm satisfied with that. Yeah.
But we got some sandwiches coming. It's about to be just bread.
Yeah.
Just a fistful of bread at the end for me.
But yeah, so we take a TV show and do it each week. And we have Michelle this week because I think it's a Michelle specific show, but I also feel like maybe we should have had you on last week too, because
100%.
I feel like we talked about you and Friends, but you weren't available. But like, do you have any like leftover Friends takes?
Do I? That could be its own.
We're never getting to
episode
Brooklyn
of
Nine-Nine.
Michelle's Friends takes. No, I'll save those for a different time. But
All right.
no,
Well,
I
back to watch
appreciate. I
Separate
appreciate
bonus
that
episode.
you.
It's just Michelle's stream of conscience.
Have you
consciousness.
listened
no one would
to
listen
that
to that.
pod yet?
I
Have you
actually
looked-
haven't.
Because I
listened.
believe I brought up how you and your family talk in, and some of our friends talk in friends quotes, and I just don't know what's happening.
Mhm. Yeah, it definitely is its own language of, we know the punchline before we get there, and you start laughing, and it just is nonsense.
Hey
but-
guys, I wasn't there last week either, and I like Friends too. Cat just fell
You
off
like
the
Friends?
table.
You watch Friends?
I think I know a lot of Friends like lines
Alright.
and what's happening. If you said how much Friends did you watch, I'd probably be like 50%, but I think in reality I've probably basically seen everything
Okay.
that is what people would talk about.
It was good. I thought it was really good, first and last. But I'm more excited for this week
Heyo.
yeah.
because Brooklyn Nine-Nine just ended, and we haven't seen the finale yet. But Michelle and I have seen the entire show up to this point.
Yeah, this is like your
Several times.
like marriage therapy show, right? Like you guys stay together because of Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Uh-oh. It's ending.
Wow.
Ooh.
Ugh.
Thanks, Andy Samberg.
We owe you a lot.
Really quick. So apparently it's gone 8 seasons, 153 episodes. Does that sound right?
Yeah, it sounds right. And these last two
6 to 8 seasons.
they changed
3.
networks because they got dropped, and then we're picked up like a month later.
Originally on Fox, right?
Yep, originally on Fox and then went to NBC for seasons 6 through 8.
Oh, okay. So
Um,
3.
Yeah, started September 17th, 2013 and ended September 16th, 2021.
Ooh, full
Yeah.
circle.
1 day off.
Which, like, on that network note, like, bonkers that NBC would let him, like, walk off the set of SNL and then go to another network to do whatever show he wants. I feel like you just, like, if Andy Samberg's like, I have an idea for a TV show, like, you just give him whatever money he wants and do
Yep.
it.
Yeah,
Toss
try
that
to
money.
keep it in the family.
Well,
Yeah.
especially
It is
in like
interesting.
2013, like that's
Yeah.
like hot Lonely Island stuff.
Exactly.
Like Andy
He's
Samberg's like
Prime
on fire.
time. Yeah.
I'm on a boat.
Well, okay, so we'll get to you two, Jimmy and Michelle, here in a
We're
second.
not there yet.
But Joe, what is your familiarity with Brooklyn?
Oh, I've seen like random episodes here and there because I used to have a roommate that like was casually into it, so I'd watch it here and there. I feel like I might have seen the first episode, but definitely not a regular watcher.
Yeah,
How
Agreed.
dare you?
I got a meat stick in my mouth.
I know,
Josh,
I was talking about
Meat
how I
off.
wasn't gonna drink the bloody during recording, but I was totally just like chomping on a meat stick a second ago.
Normally we record on Thursday nights, but we decided to record on a Saturday morning brunch time. So
Yeah, switch it
there's bloodies and snacks abound right now.
up. There's going to be a lot of mouth noises in this pod.
Yeah.
Welcome to
Sorry
the chewing noises
to everyone
podcast.
with misophonia.
Is that a thing?
So, Jimmy, you obviously talk about this show for all
Every
the time.
chance I
Every
get.
time. That reminds me of Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
I can't believe you're not watching this show.
So I've seen the first episode for sure, and I've probably
Okay.
seen. I guess if I go into how many episodes are in the first season,
We watched a thing of a YouTube of some of the cold opens, which is great. So we watched like the not Boys to Men.
In Sync.
The-
Backstreet
The
Boys.
Backstreet Boys,
Come
thank
on,
you.
guys.
Backstreet Boys to Men.
Boys.
Cold open, which if you've seen this show at all, you've seen that bouncing around Facebook or wherever.
Yep. So I think after we watched that and you talked about it enough, I started watching season 1, but I only got about halfway through before, like, I don't know, I stopped watching it. It does seem one of these shows that it would be much better to watch with somebody else.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Seems like at least a small group show, 2 plus.
I'm in. Let's do it. Start right now.
You want to restart? Start over again?
See you
Brooklyn
in a year when
Nine-Nine
we
pod.
finish this pod.
So I've seen like probably 10 to 11 episodes of the show for sure.
Okay.
Think it's funny. It's a good show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll
A
give
lot
you
of
that.
funny
concur.
people in it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's a great cast.
Yeah. Andy Samberg, obviously. Chelsea
Mhm.
Peretti, is that her name? I'm just
Yeah,
like trying to
well done.
remember this.
Mm-hmm.
She's hilarious. So
Yeah.
Jordan Peele's wife,
Yeah.
oh,
which
is
I
that-
think is hilarious.
that's got to be one of the funnier couples
Yeah. What's
Yeah.
Did Will
it
Arnett
goes
and
like-
Amy Poehler
Oh yeah, they're
break up?
divorced. They're divorced.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
A while
that's
ago.
what I thought. Okay, so this might be the funniest couple then.
Well, but you got. I was gonna say you got Nick Offerman and
Megan
Megan
Mullally.
Mullally. So it probably goes them and then Chelsea Peretti and
I
Peel.
think they're a close second.
For me personally,
I don't know.
you got any funny couples, Joe?
Jared and Ivanka, pretty hilarious.
Oh wow, that got weird.
to get
We got
weirder,
jokes. You haven't heard their podcast?
I guess I haven't.
just trumping with Jared and Ivanka.
Why is just trumping? Oh, this just became different kind of mouth noise pod.
Yeah.
I'd listen to one of them
Just to see what they have to
just
say.
to see. God, it'd be terrible.
What if they started a first and last? Like, how infuriating would that be?
I would.
We don't have the
become
money
a
for
murderer.
litigation on that.
Yeah.
No, we don't.
No, we're bad. Terry Crews is in this show.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Terry Crews.
What's the name of the guy that's he was in? I remember him from Superbad, who's like the weird cousin or whatever that takes him to the party.
Is that Joe Latruglio?
I think it is. Yeah.
It's gotta be.
I was trying to think of his last name.
He's
Yeah.
the only one. Who
Yeah.
could
He's got, like,
fit
big
into
eyes.
Super-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Joe.
He's in Super Troopers.
Superbad.
Oh, Super. Oh, yeah, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
I think you're thinking of the other guy that kind of looks like him in Super Troopers.
We were
I
just
know who you're
talking
thinking
about Super Troopers,
Yeah.
so that also why.
There's a bunch of other people in the show too.
Oh,
You guys
yeah,
Also both.
say
Also-
other people's
also
names.
more.
What's her name that plays Rosa?
Stephanie Beatrix.
Yep, she's great.
Beatriz. Beatrice.
Beatrice,
She's some
probably.
kind of yeah.
Hmm.
And I didn't know her from anything before this.
Yeah.
Melissa Fumero, I didn't know from anything before this.
Who plays Captain?
Captain Ray Holt. Where is he? What is his name? Andre Brower, I think is how you say
Also,
it.
didn't know him from anything before this, but
He's excellent. Fred Armisen makes cameos in this, of course, because he's in everything
yeah,
at all.
Fred Armisen's a national treasure.
Yeah.
agreed.
Yeah.
He should be in those movies with Nick Cage, and they should be
They
trying to
should be searching
find
for him.
Fred Armisen.
I'm gonna steal Fred Armisen.
No.
I would watch that Funny or Die video because it's for sure.
I'd watch that full
Been pitched.
feature-length movie. What are you talking about?
I mean, but it would be a Funny or Die. You know? It should be.
Remind me, I'm going to tweet at Fred Armisen and see if we can make a whole movie happen.
And Nick
Fund it.
Cage doesn't say no to films, so
It's true. He probably produced it, put all the money up for it. I think
he
we're in.
has. He can't have money. The way that he does films and just does roles.
You don't know.
He either can't
Does
have
he
any
ever
money
really-
or he has an insane amount of money because he just squirrels it away. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I started to listen to this podcast. It was a podcast.
just trumping around. with Jared and Ivanka.
They're talking about
they got to
Nick Cage.
workshop that title. It's not great.
It's not great. No.
It's normally a movie podcast, but they did a specific episode where they were going over the like recent like straight to DVD Nick Cage movies, and like I listened to the first like 15 minutes and I was just like, I can't, like these are
It's
just
insane.
terrible. Like,
It's insane.
yeah,
I guess he stays busy.
Hmm.
Good for him.
It's good.
I think he's got some like tax issues he's working through.
Or some crazy weird addictions that we don't know about.
Yikes.
What are some things that I need to know about Brooklyn Nine-Nine before I go into this first episode?
Funny.
Thank you.
Good.
I
Good
feel
to-
like having 8 seasons in your under your guys' belts. There's like who's the funniest one? I know that's the worst
That's-
question to
right?
ask, but who's the
Like,
funniest character?
That's a loaded question, Josh. I don't know. I think it depends on what your brand of funny is. I think they're all funny in their own way.
Having
I-
watched a couple episodes, I definitely agree. They're
Right.
all like
Yeah.
drastically
They have their
different.
I mean,
own
Andy
bit.
Samberg is Andy Samberg, right? Funny.
Yeah,
Joe Truglio, however we say his name. He's got good like sidekick humor.
He is amazing.
Big eyes.
Show.
Yeah,
His
Yes.
delivery is just
Yeah, is fantastic.
outrageous.
Captain Holt, Andre Brower. He's
just
like
that dry.
yeah, dry. Like again, like they all deliver. Like the delivery is everything, and they're
That's
all
cool.
different. So
'Cause
yeah,
I feel like sometimes you watch a comedy and it's like pretty clear that there's like like writer's voice through every character, and every character makes the same kind of joke.
mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. I thought you were gonna say too, like you could easily just write a show around a hot ticket like Andy Samberg and be like,
Yeah,
he's
that's
he's
true, too.
carrying
like he's
the show.
funny guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You
but
know, I
they're
feel like
all
I've seen that. We've seen that show.
right. Yeah,
He's been the funny guy, but at the same time, like even the two other Lonely Island dudes like are super funny, and it's not like he ever like took over. So I think Andy Samberg is so good because I think he understands that he just needs to be around
I
super
think
funny
Yorma
people.
is in this show a little bit.
yeah.
Jorms.
No,
But
Keith.
I don't think Akiva even like, I'll have to look it up, but I don't think he even like directed anything, because that's kind of his big shtick now, right? Is he's a director.
But anyways,
Yeah.
so yeah.
Yeah, everybody has a little bit different like comedy bit, and obviously Chelsea Peretti, who's just like a comic herself, is hilarious.
Her like from the episodes I've watched from her, she's slowly becoming one of my favorites because she just like is just like, I don't know, I hate it. I hate you. Like I'm
Yeah.
just doing it to mess with you. Like
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. Like it's like, oh, you're so funny.
Yeah.
See, listeners can't know, but I told Michelle before we started that if I put a little soft spot up, the cat would sit there.
It's very cute.
For the past couple of weeks, listeners are very aware that there is some sort of kitten that terrorizes this podcast now. So we got a studio cat.
Yeah, everyone should have one.
It's a class pet.
Yeah, she's good. Anything else before we get into the pilot?
So we're all sure that we've seen the pilot. Probably. Maybe.
I'm 100%.
Probably, yeah.
Okay.
I'm 100%.
Right on.
So I think, I mean, unless Joe's got some left field stuff, be prepared for some high praise in about 15 seconds, listeners. Because I'm pretty sure it's a good pilot, if I can remember correctly. But it is called Pilot, unfortunately. It aired on September 17th, 2013, and we'll be back after that. And we're back. We're doing the first episode of Brooklyn Nine-Nine, which is just called Pilot. Jimmy, do you have a write-up?
It's your favorite. Yeah, here's what I have. Someone anonymously wrote on IMDb. Detective Jake Peralta is a talented but carefree police detective at Brooklyn's 99th Precinct who, along with his eclectic group of colleagues, are used to having a lax captain around the office. However, when tightly wound Captain Ray Holt takes over, he is determined to make this dysfunctional group of detectives into the best precinct in Brooklyn. That's what I have.
Yes. So, Holt, Commander Holt or whatever.
Captain Holt.
Captain Holt.
Captain.
I gave him a promotion.
Being a promotion.
He's like he's the new guy to the crew.
He's the new captain.
Coming in, laying down the law.
He's a
Tightening up
straight
the ship,
man.
maybe, is a better way to say that.
Yeah.
But
The biggest example of that is that he keeps trying to make Peralta wear a tie. And Peralta is Adam Sandberg and is what you would expect
A
from
goof.
Yeah, what would you expect from an Adam Sandberg character? Just a
Do you
goofball.
keep calling him Adam Sandberg?
Adam Sandlerberg?
Adam Sandlerberg.
Also, are you wearing my flannel? Because you look like a little boy right now.
I feel like I'm wearing like my dad's shirt or something. I'm like a 10-year-old.
Listeners, Joe sitting in the chair, and all of a sudden I was like, he's wearing a really big shirt, and it's my my red flannel. There's a size difference between me and Joe. Just FYI, kids. So,
Wait, what's it? It's
Visualize
Adam Andy.
Andy Sandberg.
Oh, Andy Sandberg.
Adam
Sandberg.
Sandler, Andy Sandberg.
Gotcha. That feels a little racist. That I mixed them up.
Because they're just two white people?
We'll go with that.
Yeah,
Yeah, so the show starts off Jake Peralta, Adam Sandlerberg is is at the scene of a crime with other detective Amy Santiago.
A whale's vagina.
And there's
Sandiago.
and they start playing up that relationship of he's goofing around from the get-go. Like the opening thing is him doing a bit from Danny Brasco. Donnie Brasco.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that
It's like an Al Pacino movie.
yeah, Pacino
Donna
and
Briscoe.
Isn't
I don't know.
Johnny Depp.
Is Johnny Depp in that?
I
Yeah.
think so. I
Yeah.
actually haven't seen it,
Yeah.
but
That's
I
like one of the
know
few
things
Johnny
about
Depps
it.
I haven't seen. Anyway, and she's like just like ugh, like eye rolling and like not messing around trying to solve crimes and that kind of stuff.
Doing
And
her job.
then-
Yeah.
Yeah, like you do. And then they go back to the office. We see who else do we see? We see Gina, who is Chelsea Peretti, and Charles, who's Joe Latruglio. I can't speak anymore. And he's just asking her
Joe
about
Big
advice. Big Eyes Joe is asking Gina for tips because he's got a crush on the other detective, Rosa something.
Diaz.
Rosa Diaz.
She's a no nonsense.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And so they do this great thing where Terry Crews in this show, Terry
Jeffords.
Jeffords this is why you're here. Is,
The facts.
Terry
is,
Taylor.
Terry the Toolman Taylor is explaining the crew to new Captain Holt. And so it's kind of
It was
you
pretty
literally
per-
get
yeah.
the bios, the
Yeah.
one-liners.
It was pretty perfect. Worked really well. Like, because like the captain didn't necessarily add too much more of like we weren't learning from him as much throughout the episode. Besides this little part where then it just gave an excuse of Terry to say this is all of the main characters that you need to know about, and this is like a snippet about them.
Yep. Their elevator pitch.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
good way to introduce everybody that didn't feel forced.
Like literally, I don't think we maybe got one line from, I forget which one's Hitchcock and which one's Scully now, even though I've seen the entire show. They're like the same person. But like really we just mostly got an explanation from Terry that they're just like, they don't go out on cases. Actually, they just sit in the office.
Desk jockeys.
Yeah. Because it's just better if they don't. And Charles is kind of a klutz and goofy, but he's a grinder.
Yeah, goofy buffoon.
What else? What else happened in this?
Oh, well, yeah. Amy and Jake are having a competition for most callers or solving or whatever
Most
they
arrests,
call
I
it. Most
think it
arrests.
Yeah,
And-
I think that's most arrests.
So,
Case
yeah.
solves.
If Amy wins, she gets Jake's sweet ride. His Mustang, right? It was a Mustang. And then if Jake wins, Amy has to go on a date with him.
Did that ever get resolved?
Mm-mm. Wait.
What?
not in this episode.
Not in this episode.
No.
But in the show, it gets resolved, yes.
So I should change a prediction. It's basically that was a fishing question that I just asked.
Well,
It's definitely not a series long thing. It's more of a season long thing. I feel like maybe even a mid-season. Who's to say?
I can't remember. But it gets resolved. and
But
it's
yeah,
great.
that whiteboard has been erased in 8 years.
Fair enough, but you know, who knows?
It'll happen.
But yeah, I thought it was a great setup as far as pilots go. I think we got a snippet of all, especially in the like grouping of characters, where there's not just like one or two main characters and their antics. It's like it's this group of 8 to 10 people.
Well, yeah,
we got a good like summary of them all, and you're like, yeah, I want to see what they get up to.
Right. Yeah. Besides the two dudes that you said, the people that weren't really
Hitchcock
in
and
this episode,
Scully.
those guys, Hitchcock and Sully. Besides that, there's 7 people that we were introduced to in this episode,
Ooh.
minus the people they were going off, like just the bad guys. But there are
Right.
7 main characters essentially.
Okay.
Andy Samberg, obviously, Adam Sandelberg,
Yep, that's it.
being
Jake
trying to count?
Peralta. Yeah.
I got
I'm
him right
trying to
here.
count.
I mean, it was Jake, Gina, Rosa, Santiago, Holt, Charles, and Terry.
And Terry. Yeah.
7.
So
Oh,
that's
wow,
7.
that's
So
a
that's
lot.
too many.
That's
to,
one more than Friends.
yeah.
Yeah, the 6 friends.
They're
Take it up a notch.
friends. It's
Yeah.
bad. I'm sorry. It's a bad joke.
Yeah, and you even got like there were some lulls. We had some lulls, and then there was even some
Like LOLZ, some
Yeah.
lols. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not like
whatever you,
LULL
however you say it.
in the
We
entertainment.
did that, and then there was like some good old fashioned Frasier like learning moments, where Captain Holt, like we find out that, so Gina drops this line when he first introduces himself that, did you guys get a gay vibe? And then like he's being a hard ass the whole time, and then at the end they're like on this like stakeout together, Jake and Santiago and Holt, and it's like what's going on? Why are you such a hard ass? And why did it take you so long to get command? Because he was like a big deal detective in his time in like the 70s, and he's like, because I'm gay. And then Jake kind of laughs and it's like wait, what? And then it's like, I don't try to hide it. And then it's like, yeah, openly gay detective gets first chief command or whatever.
Yeah, which ties into why he's such a hard ass, is because it's so important to him to like make sure that this goes right, because he's not only just like doing it for himself, he feels like it's like, you know, he's got to carry all this weight of the first openly gay commanding officer
in New York City.
I mean, I will say it is like, that is all important. And like, well, if you're like paying close attention to it, you're like, oh, this is actually a big deal. But it's not, I don't feel like it's like Frasier quality where like they really slow the thing down and be like, now you're going to feel these feels. We're not there.
Sure.
This is very,
It's not quite.
this is very
yeah.
sitcom-y.
It's
I mean,
the whole
pilot drama Frasier.
yeah, I feel like the place that it serves, it's not necessarily to make you think about equality and things like that. It's really more to like give some depth to the Holt character, and it's not just he's a hard ass.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is kind of a like, this is a Fremulon production, which is like Michael Schur's production company, and it's like Parks and Rec, The Good Place, this, and also like Hacks on HBO, if you've seen that, where it's like there's like tension between characters in all these shows, but it's all of just like, there's always a like reasoning behind things and like humanity behind people, and it's not just like this person's an asshole. It's just like, no, it's like there's a perspective here, and there's a reason why this person is this way, and just like care for each character, which
Michael Schur.
yeah, it's great.
Well, it's good. It's good that everyone has like a lane
Yeah,
to like work in
yeah.
that is like clearly theirs, you know, and not in like a putting them in a place kind of thing, but like I understand where this guy's coming from and I get it.
Yeah,
But,
whereas
like-
like a lot of other like shows like this, either with whether it's a cop show or just like an Office Place show, it's just like, there's a guy that's a hard ass and we don't like him.
And that's it.
Yeah, and that's it.
Yeah, the characters are multidimensional, not just like your role is to be the hard ass, the funny guy, the fill in the blank. But Michael Schur makes all my favorite shows, so
Yeah.
way to go.
If you haven't seen Hacks on HBO, that's a great show.
Is it over yet?
It's only been one season, but
Oh, okay.
very funny. I mean, just different from the other Michael Schur shows in that it's HBO, so it's a little more like risque and stuff.
Sure.
Which is fun, but it still has that same like heart, and like none of the asshole characters are actually assholes.
Right.
But yeah, so I feel like I do remember this episode in that I remember the like Captain Holt gay storyline, and I remember that it ends in a like container or like storage facility. Those are the things I remember about the episode. I feel like it, like, you do get a good intro to all the characters and like the type of shenanigans that they're gonna get into.
I mean, you get it that like Charles is like into Rosa. Gina, Chelsea Peretti's character, is just like terminally like negative.
Yeah.
and like
Yeah.
likes to make fun
Cynical.
of people
Mhm.
in my favorite character type of way.
Yeah.
Terry, aka Terry Crews.
Oh yeah, we didn't really talk about Terry.
I mean, he had like some sort of gun. He's got he had kids born, and then he like
yeah,
doesn't
he
want to
had
be near
twins.
He's got
He had twins
and he's
named Cagney
lost
and
his
Lacey.
edge.
action. Yeah.
And then lost his edge because he's a parent.
And he shot up a mannequin because he's freaking out.
Yeah, that's
And he
messed up.
hasn't fired a gun since or been out in the field.
I mean, I know that at some point that Captain brings
big
him. I've seen an
softy.
episode where the Captain like brings him to a shooting range to like try to get him like back in. So I assume he is kind of a cop, a field cop again at some point, but I'm not sure. And then we talked about Holtz. It's kind of yeah. We got a good feel for everybody. At least we kind of know what everyone's like, kind of like intentions are, at least in the short term in this one. So like next episode, you can assume that Charles is still going to try to go on a date with Rosa, and Santiago's just trying to out cop everybody.
Yeah.
And Jake's gonna not care, but also care a lot.
The Charles stuff might have been my favorite.
Oh yeah, him and Rosa, or
Yeah, him and Rosa just like there's like he's trying to like ask her out to a movie, and like there's this like I think some sort of
Like a
film
film
festival
fest,
going on,
yeah.
and he's like saying like, oh yeah, we could go see like Citizen Kane, which is like, you know, one of probably the most well-regarded movies ever. And she's like, no, I hate that movie. That movie sucks. And he's like, cool, I'll just find another movie that's better than Citizen Kane.
Yeah. That's a great line.
And Charles, so the like bad guy they're searching for, stole jamón ibérico, which is fancy Spanish ham. And through the whole series, Charles is like a very big foodie, and so it's just like you got a little taste of his like.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
interesting.
forgot about that.
What
Yeah,
is
they
the
did a
word I'm
lot of
looking for?
little setups
Yeah.
like that.
He's all about the food and like the weird foreign, not
Yeah.
foreign food, but like
fetish
yeah.
food. Is that a thing?
No,
No? Okay.
I don't know.
like
But just, like,
George
crazy.
Costanza when he eats there's an episode where he tries to eat during sex.
Is that George who does that?
Oh yeah,
Oh.
he has like a sandwich on the nightstand, and he like
Yeah.
takes a big bite of it.
I
And
thought
he's
that
like,
was
oh,
Jerry
yeah.
who did that.
Nah, it's George.
Oh, okay. Does Jerry try to do that later then?
No,
Okay.
Jerry's
Just
not
envisioning
into
that
that at all.
wrong.
I've seen so much Seinfeld in my life.
Okay.
Coming to Netflix October 1st.
Coming back.
Is it?
Yeah, I'm very
Oh,
excited.
man, that's
It's been
great.
off of Hulu for like 2 months.
Oh no.
Cool. I guess the only other random thing I have is that so Holt says he wants this, you know, the stakes are high. He wants this to be the best precinct in Brooklyn. And I was like, really? Just like in Brooklyn? Like, is that high stakes? And so I looked it up, and there are 23 precincts in Brooklyn alone.
Oh.
And 99 is not one of them. It's fake.
This is a fictitious.
It's fake, but
Precinct.
it is a real like precinct that it's a like the 70 something precinct that they're actually when you see the outside.
Oh,
is
wow.
cool.
It's like they don't like shoot inside of a
Yeah.
precinct.
I think they
they're
have
in a
work to do
studio
in there.
in like Florida or something.
That sounds about right.
Atlanta.
All right. So should we get into what our predictions are? We got a lot of them.
Let's do it.
Mm-hmm.
Joe.
Yeah, I can go. So number 1, everybody is moving on.
Nobody's a cop.
Yeah, really
Yeah.
quick. When you were writing your predictions down, you said, I think I wrote the first one, which encompasses a little too much.
Yeah,
And that was
it's
everybody moves on.
Everybody is done being a cop. I wrote down on my sheet here, Holt retires, and then I crossed it out, and I was like, no, wait, everybody's done being a cop.
No.
Just think it'd be a fun premise for like the last
Fantastic.
episode, just like
Literally everybody's not.
all of the 7 main characters are just like, we're moving on. We're gonna
100% loose
start a
ends.
bakery or something. So that's a big one to open with. So beyond that, it's just kind of like nonsense predictions, and it's Terry ends up shirtless
Yeah.
because
Awesome.
you got to show that off. Peralta has a child,
Nice.
unexpected, so I feel like you got to go there. And then there's a time jump to the future, kind of not unlike Parks and Rec, where they skip ahead to the future,
Oh,
just to see where people are at.
I do love that about Parks and Rec.
Mhm.
That's probably a
That's
good
a good
one.
one.
I feel like I should do mine now because both me, you, Joe, and me don't know anything about this show, and you guys do.
think
So
that's
you
a
can
good
just
plan.
giggle at our our predictions that either for surely won't happen or you've already seen them come
Yeah.
to fruition.
Yeah, you should go.
I tried to do one for each of the main 7,
Oh, nice.
but they are encapsulated into 5 predictions. My first one was going to be that Santiago and Jake like Santiago wins the bet.
Okay.
But since I got it out that it had already finished, I switched it to Santiago and Jake wear a crazy duo costume.
Ooh, okay.
Say like the horse with 2 people or something.
Oh,
like
sure,
that,
sure.
For
Okay.
instance,
Okay.
that's
Sure.
an example. I think Charles and Rosa get together forever,
Ooh.
or at least are
Love
in
to
a
see
serious
it.
relationship.
You love to see it.
Together forever.
I stole Joe's first one. That's why I had to cross it off. Holt retires.
Hmm.
I think Gina becomes a political figure.
I like that one.
She's negative enough where she could run for governor of New York or something like that and would work out. And then finally, I think Terry eats an entire wedding cake.
Ooh.
Terry eats a wedding cake specifically.
I wrote a wedding cake.
Okay.
He eats wedding
Who's
cake.
wedding?
Specific.
That's not part of my problem.
Doesn't matter.
It could be a random person's wedding cake.
All right.
And those are my 5 predictions.
Michelle, you want to go?
Sure. Okay. So I think Jake retires. So
But you don't
along
have the
lines-
whole precinct. You just
No, I
have
think
Jake.
some people are staying.
You don't think all the cops in Precinct
Well,
99?
who's to say? So I think Jake retires. I think someone dresses up in a costume.
Oh man.
Okay. Ooh,
Somebody.
I hope you're right. But I hope it's
Just
2.
made me think. Okay.
I hope. Well, I think Scully and Hitchcock are sitting down every time we see them. I think they're never standing. I think they're only sitting down. And then I think Gina makes an elaborate entrance.
As a political figure?
Who's to say?
Ooh.
She just makes an elaborate entrance.
All
So
Red carpet.
those are mine. Those are my predictions.
That just reminded me. So there's a bit throughout the seasons that changed a little bit over time, but they had like holiday episodes where a big one was around Halloween, and it was like a heist episode. Every Halloween there was like they did this
The Halloween heist.
this heist where they tried anyway. And we're not gonna get that because we didn't make it to Halloween.
Maybe there's a future jump and we jump to Halloween. You
That's-
don't know.
That's a great point.
I'd
Okay.
love to.
Everybody wins.
So my number 1, I think Jake does a movie monologue like he did in this pilot.
Mhm.
So that's one thing they set up was his pop culture references throughout the show. He's obsessed with pop culture, but
Specifically, Die Hard.
Die Hard. Which
I was
is-
going to say
which is great.
non-point related, but do you have a movie in mind that you think he would do?
I guess
mean-
Die Hard. There's not really monologues in Die Hard, so no, I don't have a movie in mind.
Unless you're Hans Gruber.
He does a speech from a movie. Number 2, I think Jake wears a tie
Callback.
to call back. Because I actually honestly don't know that he really wears ties in this.
He was wearing one in the pilot. He eventually put on a tie.
eventually did put on a tie, but he was wearing a Speedo at the same time. So.
In season 1, he does wear ties from time to time for sure. I can tell you
Yeah.
that. At least the first 13
Yeah, I'm
episodes
sure.
that I've seen.
I just can't like picture it. Okay. Just Adam Sandlerberg in general wearing a tie. It's hard to
Yeah.
picture. With his Oxford collar. Is that what it's called?
Mm-hmm.
With the buttons? Okay.
The
Nerd.
buttons.
Huge nerd. Number 3, I think Amy takes out a bad guy. Because at the end of this pilot, the guy tries to escape, the ham thief or whatever, ham murderer. He tries to escape, and Amy takes him out with her baton thing.
Okay.
Like Amy takes out a bad guy. And the number 4, I think Gina asks if someone is giving off a gay vibe.
If someone
Oh,
will
wow.
vote for her.
Sure.
So you're feeling a lot of callbacks to
I just
the pilot.
basically was like, okay, I'm going to act like this pilot is all I've seen of this.
So this
What
show,
are the
the
bookends?
show ended this week, right?
Yes.
And you guys have not seen the finale.
Right.
Correct.
Gotcha.
I'm really happy to be sharing this moment with you
It
all.
ended, as of recording, it ended 2 days ago.
So we're all seeing it for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed.
Can't wait.
It's a two-parter.
Can't wait for Jimmy and Michelle to cry.
Yeah.
Oh, there's gonna be
So
tears. Probs tears.
You are correct, Jimmy. It is a two-parter. It is called The Last Stand. The Last Day. X-Men Last Stand is what it's called.
We're watching it's Twist. We're watching.
No, it's called The Last Day. So, Joe, maybe everyone quits.
It could be.
Somebody's quitting.
Someone's going to quit for sure. It premiered on September 16th, 2021. So we're on top of the ball, boys and girls. Way to go.
Let's do it.
All right, so we're going to get to that, and we will see you after the finale of Brooklyn Nine-Nine. And we're back. We're done with the final episode of Brooklyn Nine-Nine. It's called The Last Day. Jimmy, write up. Go.
Okay. Well, here's what.
Did no one write a write-up in the last 2 days?
Yeah, basically not, because here's what it says. The squad takes stock of their 8 years together and look towards their future.
Cool.
So basically, they did a heist. So I was all concerned that this wasn't over Halloween, because that's normally when the heists.
I was going to say,
happened.
how prolific are these heist episodes? Is
Yeah,
there one-
explain
is there
what
one a
the
season?
heist
Yeah.
So
is.
prolific.
What is a
So-
heist?
In the first season, I assume it was the first season. I don't remember.
They did a heist in the first season. I saw it.
Okay,
Yeah.
you saw it. So it was over Halloween, and it was just like this whole thing with Jake and Captain Holt, where like in the first episode they're kind of at odds, and Jake's making a joke of his tie thing and stuff. That just kind of builds up to where that plus just having office like antics going on whenever Holt is not looking. It leads up to this thing where they have this heist where whoever has this object at midnight has to say everyone has to say that they're a genius or whatever. I forget what the full title is. Jake said it at the end. So then every year while on Fox they did it, and it was kind of always like like after like season 2, you're like, okay, this is just a thing now.
Mm-hmm.
And then once it moved to NBC, the season started in January. So then it became like a May Day thing or something.
Yeah, it was like a Cinco de Mayo.
Cinco de Mayo, that's what it was.
Easter heist thing. It was.
Yeah. Which was just silly, just playing off of it. So then now they really ran with it because that was weaved into this whole thing. So they used the heist to like work in almost every like recurring character from the show. Santiago's ex-boyfriend, like boring ex-boyfriend, was his whole bit was just that he was boring.
That guy.
He also
What's
really
he
likes
from?
pilsners.
Is he
Yeah,
from
he's
stuff?
familiar.
Yeah, he's
The
familiar
Office or
looking.
something, or
Maybe.
No.
I'll have to look up.
He's familiar to me, and I don't know if it's a show or if he's just in a movie. But yeah, he's normally like kind of a boring dude anyway. I think too, but like a funny boring dude.
He's his big thing in this show is that he's into pilsners, which is like
just the most boring of beers.
Which I resent because I do love a good pilsner.
A good pilsner's fine,
Yeah.
but like
But
no
yeah,
one's
you-
into him.
You understand
Speak
that
for
like
yourself, Josh.
you like a pilsner because it's not any sort of way about a beer. It's a beer. That's it.
yeah,
Like-
right.
Like if someone asks what's a pilsner taste like, your answer is a beer. It tastes like a beer.
Yeah.
So that his character's name is Teddy. Everyone who's looking at IMDb trying to find this guy. Then Rosa's ex-boyfriend Adrian Pimento, played by Jason Mantzoukas,
Which is
recurring
fantastic.
characters. He's amazing in this show. He just plays a just a psychopath. I mean, yeah. It's what you'd
Jason-
assume.
That's
from
what Jason
Mantzoukas.
Mantzoukas plays.
Yeah, exactly. Tim Meadows is in there as this prison like arrested cannibal who's in a season where Jake
Jake
there's
is
a
like
season where Jake
undercover
is-
in jail. Or no. Yeah, he's undercover in jail.
Joe, he's the lawyer in Better Call Saul. The guy, or not the lawyer, the businessman that's a dick that they always like. They fuck him over in like Breaking Bad, I think, and then they fuck him over again in Better Call Saul. It's
Joe has
Bob
no idea what
Odenkirk and Rhea, whatever her name,
Mhm.
when they're in that place and they pretend to be brother and sister.
Yeah. They run the tequila
Yeah.
thing on him. Okay.
That's the guy they run
Yes.
the tequila scam on.
Yeah. Okay.
Tequila scam. Of course.
He's actually not a boring guy in that one. He's just a douche.
Yeah. Just
All
a
right.
douche.
Right on.
Yeah, like a broker douche.
Nice. One day when that ends, we'll watch that show.
Sorry that was an important
Yeah.
aside.
Yeah. I know I've seen him in things, but
Jason Mantzoukas, of course, famous for the single episode of
every time we watch something with Jason Mantzoukas in it, we have to
One
watch.
man's trash.
We have to watch the show. What's that? What's
I
that
don't even
comedian's
know
name?
how to best Google it. It's just because they switch up the name of the show
Paul-
throughout the thing.
Oh yeah.
Oh, but it's called The Show. We've talked about this so many times on this podcast
Chris
now.
something. What's the guy's name?
Chris Gefford.
Chris Gefford.
Chris
that right?
Gafford's
Chris
like public
Gefford, yeah.
access show, comedy
One
show
man's
where
trash. It's worth it.
Jason
it delivers.
Mantzoukas and Paul
I
Paul
haven't forced
Scheer?
Claire to watch that yet.
Paul
Wait,
Scheer.
Paul
I feel like
Scheer.
I feel like I would make her watch it and she would like not think it's funny, but by the end be like, okay, I get why you think this is interesting. Okay, fine.
Yeah,
I'm very lost.
Michelle, we might have to do that
Very lost.
at some point. We have to do that.
It delivers.
We've been telling our
Um,
podcast audience to watch this single episode of the Chris Gefford show with Jason Mantzoukas and Paul Scheer in it. Like probably once every season for sure. It now comes up. It's so funny,
It's amazing.
and even that I know exactly what happens now. It's
Yeah.
so funny.
It's fun to watch back, yeah. Anyways,
Fred
Um,
Armisen also shows up.
oh,
Ugh.
yeah, we got Fred Armisen again.
Is he always that like
Malik knows.
Malik
Malik
Nos
Nos, yeah.
Yeah,
character
kind of.
basically?
he's
But
out-
now he's
He
Jerry.
is, but yeah,
Yeah.
he's just weird.
I thought when he introduced himself as Jerry, I thought he was going to be like, I'm Jerry Seinfeld.
Yeah,
like run with that. But no, it was Jerry,
Oh, that'd be
unintelligible
funny too.
last name.
He said it two different unintelligible last names.
yeah,
He's
completely
just
different.
It was
Making
like, man,
crap up.
mumble.
Yeah. He's always just like pretending to not understand. And he's excellent. The other one that I can think of is this guy, Bill, who
Mhm. He's from
o-
other heists.
He's only in the heist episodes, and he comes in at some point, maybe season 3, to be Charles's body double. And then he just never leaves. He's just always
He's
comes
just
in at
always
these
there.
heists.
He tries to get them into a pyramid scheme for a little while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Clearly also played by Joe Trujillo, right?
No,
it's a
it's
totally
not.
different person.
It's
Wait.
this guy.
Winston Story.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
It's a different actor.
Yeah.
Yeah, they look very
he
similar.
plays his body
Isn't
double.
it amazing?
And then he's just
Joe's mind is blown.
I
now.
literally thought it was a joke about, oh, it's the same actor playing a guy that looks kind of like him.
no.
Holy shit. Wow. They just heisted me.
Mission accomplished.
How many bloodies did you have?
I
Joe?
mean, not enough.
Well,
Really.
here's the deal. As he was saying that, I was on IMDb looking it up because I was like, that is him, right?
Yeah, no. Bill,
he's dirty enough. Like you
Well,
know.
that's true. He's all like they make him look homeless and
Yeah, it looked like they
So
tried
you-
to make it look like, oh, it's
Yeah.
the same actor, but not like that you wouldn't notice. But
that makes sense if you hadn't seen the show. So weird things, I guess, is that Gina has been in and out. She actually had a baby at some point and left the show, and they actually worked that in.
Yeah. So Chelsea Peretti
Yeah.
had a baby.
Yeah.
Gina Linetti also had a baby.
Right.
Like her character.
Like Chelsea
Yeah.
Peretti, Gina
Linetti.
Linetti.
I know.
yeah,
Yeah.
Nice.
it's great.
But yeah, so she
So
was.
she's been in and out,
in
but
and
she
out.
was here, so that was great.
Mhm.
And
I was
then-
super sad that she wasn't like in the
She wasn't in the opening
cast
credits,
thing, and I was
yeah.
like, oh no, where's Chelsea Peretti? And Michelle's like, oh, she's been gone for a couple seasons.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Hate to break it to you.
Yeah.
And most of her lines in this show were also just on her sweatshirts
Yeah.
that she
pretty
was
funny.
wearing, which is
And
great,
it was hilarious.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
which is excellent. And then, if you'd been watching this last season, Hitchcock has been not in person at all, which
been
made
via
it seem
Zoom.
like, oh, he just opted out because of COVID,
And so they can
and
just,
so this is how they're working him in. But then he was in this last episode, so maybe it was filmed post-vaccination or something. And
Mhm.
who's to say?
Or maybe he just got like a really raw deal and didn't have to do much for a TV show and still got paid for being like a mild
Yeah.
sub character.
Yeah, he's great. There's some great Hitchcock and Scully like bottle episodes,
Mm-hmm.
actually.
Yeah. They
So
go
they
back
really-
into their like when they were young detectives and
Yeah, and they're just hunks,
Oh,
just
yeah.
like
It's-
Miami
oh,
Vice
man.
hunks.
awesome.
That's great.
It's
It's
excellent.
really
That's
that's
great.
one of my favorite episodes.
For your viewers that didn't watch the show with us, they are not hunks currently. They are not
They
Terry
are
Crews lookalikes.
lazy,
Subjective.
lazy old men.
Yeah. What else?
So probably the biggest thing that I noticed that like I want to get your guys' take on who have seen multiple seasons of this is that like this from the finale especially seemed like the rate of jokes was so fast,
Super fast talking, right?
super fast talking,
Yeah.
and like the jokes per second, like not even jokes per minute, jokes per second is just like boom
JPS.
boom 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 boom, so much, and like all very funny, but I was just like, oh my god, is this what TV is now? Like I could barely keep up. Is this
Yeah.
what it's been the past few seasons?
I would say no, but I
Mhm.
would say this is how these heist episodes are like quick edit, like we're moving through story, just like, you know, in Ocean's 11 or whatever.
Cool.
I
But
think,
yes,
I think
this one
that's-
felt fast to me too. I was like, wow, there's
Yeah.
a lot of funny stuff happening.
Yeah.
But it's fast, and you like I could go back and watch that whole episode again and be like, all right, I pick up
Yeah.
100 new things.
Well,
but,
yeah. Plenty
Yeah.
of new things
Yeah.
that I didn't catch the first time around.
But I agree, Jimmy. I think
There's
they
definitely-
the heist episodes especially are fast.
Yeah,
Mhm.
they're definitely more of like that style, but also I would say this show, just like the Lonely Island thing, there are like quick little things where they like there's a joke that they don't hang on, you
Mhm,
know?
mhm.
It's not like
Yeah.
a sitcom where there's like, you know, the laugh
You get
track. It's
every
they,
joke.
they move
Mhm.
on, and that's what's funny about it
Yeah.
for them, you know? They don't anyway.
Yeah. I know
So I
what
think
you
it's a
mean, yeah.
combo of those two things.
Okay.
It's
so,
not
but
normally,
yeah, but this episode was untypically fast.
it was pretty nuts.
Yeah.
The amount of jokes is great. And maybe it's, you know, the finale, they're just trying to get in all the zingers that they've been hanging on. I don't
Mhm.
know. Moves quick.
But yeah, that was the biggest difference for me from the first to the last. It's just like the first was, you know, pretty typical of this era TV show quips, and then by the finale I was like, oh shit, is this how am I supposed to watch TV now? Am I too slow to catch these things?
Drink from the
You're
fire
not,
hose.
you're not smart enough to catch all
Yeah, holy
all the
shit.
jokes. They're going
Like it's
too
definitely
It was a
not a
fire
thing where
hose.
like you could like watch this show and also be like scrolling Twitter at the same time. Like you're gonna miss a lot of the jokes.
Right.
fast. Right. Like I can turn the screen off in Seinfeld and not watch it and,
Yeah.
and pay attention, but like no
Mhm.
way in this. Too fun. Too many jokes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was good. I'm glad that it seems like the heist, at least from you guys, also and the heist was a thing throughout. So it's kind of a fun that they ended in like a big event that they've done every year, basically, or every season.
Mhm.
So that's fun.
Yeah.
It's like if like New Girl ended in like True American or something like that.
Didn't they?
They did.
They did?
Yeah, there
I
was a
think they
flash
did.
There you go.
forward. There was a flash forward to them playing True American in the future. So
We
yeah.
we watched that. I can't remember.
I know.
It was 100
okay.
episodes ago.
That's why I'm here to help you.
But so well, hey, there you go. Way to go. Have a good idea. Stick to it. I'm happy Chelsea Peretti was in this. I'm happy everybody was in it. It was pretty good. So Holt wasn't retiring either. Though. He was like just getting a
Promoted.
promotion,
He's
right?
like
He's
deputy
been-
deputy
commissioner.
commissioner. So
Whatever
like
that
Big
means.
deal.
like assistant to the head of.
Mm-hmm.
Assistant to the
It's
deputy
like
commissioner.
captain of the captains.
Yeah, and now he's gonna be the top guy.
Cap.
Mhm.
Okay.
And Amy went along with him.
Oh,
to,
is that
like,
what she was
to
doing?
headquarters. That's why.
Oh.
Which we can, I don't. So at the end of the episode, they all end up coming back because a lot of them are leaving, which we could get to with Joe's.
Yeah. I mean, it's
predictions,
pretty
but-
much insane to even try to describe what happened in the
Right.
heist episode
Oh, yeah.
anyway.
Yeah.
It's just like
Whatever.
crazy
There's a lot of
shenanigans.
turns and
heists.
backstabbing and
Yeah.
tricks on tricks, and it's great. But so
It was a hilarious calamity for
Ooh,
40 minutes,
excellent.
and then they kind of wrapped it up.
One of the important things, though, is that they trick Terry into thinking he's interviewing for the captain job at the 9-9, but like he'd already gotten it, apparently. We find out by the end of the episode. So then at the end, it's like 1 year later, and now he's captain. Hitchcock and Scully are there. Boyle is still there. And then Jake, like smoke
Like, yeah,
bombs in.
appears through
Like, we're
smoke.
doing a heist because it was Halloween. There's like decorations up.
Mm-hmm.
And then the rest of the crew bursts
Just-
in. Oh, and so Rosa, if you'd been watching the last season, she's a PI now. She quit. Oh, and so we should really back up. Is this season got like pushed back? Obviously, like most TV got pushed back. But after the George Floyd murder, they threw out a bunch of episodes and rewrote. So a bunch of this last season is around police reform. And like, and
That's right.
like Jake loses his job for a while, and it's like
Yeah.
crazy.
Huh? Like what kind of things do they like touch on? Are they trying to reform the 9-9 or like?
I think they're
think
just
that-
trying to be, like
I think
a
it's the
better
NYPD.
police. Like the 9-9's trying to help push through police reform.
Yeah,
Interesting.
which Santiago and Captain Holt are working on,
Right.
like specifically.
Yeah, because that's an interesting like dilemma to try to deal with. Is just like you've been doing this hilarious comedy show for years, and all of a
Yeah.
sudden, like the unfunny parts of the premise of your show are like very at the forefront of people's minds. And
Yeah.
how do you deal with
So
that?
Rosa just quits.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, F this, and then she becomes a private investigator.
Huh?
So that's how she deals.
Uh-huh.
And then Santiago and Holt are trying to like push some reform.
Yeah, through like, the by the book channels
Mhm.
like they do. And then, well,
I can't remember what Jake's deal was. He just did a
he
bad
did
job.
something. Yeah, he did something, and like a
prom.
witness didn't believe him. There was some like he said, she said, and basically he is suspended for a while. And they go through that.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
cool. It's cool that they tackle something like that because I mean, since the show is so like just silly, for the
Yeah.
most part, like
Mm-hmm.
there was. I mean, in reality, as like a cop show in general, like this super silly one didn't even like necessarily need to do that.
Yeah.
There's stuff like, well, I mean, did like NCIS or CIS or CIS Miami or CIS Tampa or CIS like probably none of those.
CIS
Like did they
Milwaukee.
probably at most had an episode potentially based on something silly like this, like or some like the serious topic of this, but like the silly show was like we're gonna like really tackle it,
Mm-hmm.
which is kind of like interesting.
This show does do that sometimes, like in the past. Like Terry Jeffers at one point in a earlier season is just like walking through his neighborhood, and a cop like questions him and like brings him in, and like he was trying to like say that he was a cop, and then Terry's trying to
and also
like,
just not doing anything wrong.
and yeah, right. He's
Exactly.
like just like in a nice neighborhood as just a big black man, So they do some of that already, like
Okay.
before this last year.
Yeah. So no, that's really cool.
Years.
It's really cool that they do that. It's interesting how it's like comedy can tackle very serious conversations.
Right. It can sometimes
and-
be like the best venue for that.
Yeah,
those type of
exactly.
things.
Well, I mean, I've said it on this podcast before, and other people say it, of course, but like comedy doesn't like necessarily have any boundaries per se.
Mhm.
And then sometimes it's also then for the best way to actually like tackle like social issues, because it's like we can talk about it, we can joke about it a little bit, but then like when it's serious.
Mhm.
Like if you understand, like if you're like a real human and you can be like, oh, like okay, we're talking about something seriously, but we understand like some funny things about life and just kind of roll with it and then learn with it as well.
I think so. I'm interested. I mean, I'm very interested to see, this last season of Brooklyn Nine-Nine of like how they try to deal with things, and like especially coming from a like Adam Sandlerberg perspective. Like I just, for whatever reason, I like through some of his like stand up and like interviews and stuff, I think he's a very like conscientious person that I think that they're like he would have found a spot to deal with these things that that would be unique to this show, but also wouldn't like take this show that has been funny for 7 years and like all of a sudden now it's a different serious show. Like it would have been true to Brooklyn Nine-Nine while still like being real and addressing these things.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to look into that. I as opposed to starting a show from the beginning, from where I left off and just start from episode 2. I might even start from like from season 9, watch that season and then go
son
back.
of a.
I mean, in all fairness, Joe, we've known you throughout the years to be you like to select show like episodes from shows and like watch it. I mean, you haven't seen Frasier, but you've seen all of their holiday episodes.
Oh yeah, Christmas episodes on DVD. I might end up watching all the heist episodes this spooky month. We'll see.
That's pretty cool.
We definitely did that last year. We watched all the spooky heists.
Sure did.
Because it's Hulu that compiles all those things, which is great.
Mm-hmm.
It's so smart. Get those plays, get those streams. This show, the one thing that's hard about this show with hopping around, besides the fact that you don't know anything that's going on, is that one of the things you don't know what's going on is that they do bits like that, where there's another one with the Pontiac Bandit, who, I can never remember his name. He's a Daryl from The Office.
Oh yeah, I don't know what his real name is either, but yeah,
Craig Robinson.
Yeah.
That is not a hard name to remember.
It's a pretty basic name. Yeah.
He's so great. He is in this show, I think, every season as like he starts as Jake's nemesis, the Pontiac Bandit. He only steals Pontiacs.
He's in. I've only seen the first 13 episodes of this show, and he's in one of those.
Okay.
Yeah, the Pontiac Bandit.
So then every season he's in it, and they become like they go from like nemesis to like best friends and back and forth and kind of both. But so they have an episode in this last season, which is great because there's just 10 episodes this season.
I mean, overall, I think this show, first episode, last episode, even the speed difference for sure, like in those two. But then the 10 or so other episodes that I've seen, like this is just a really smart comedy, and it is kind of like, I mean, is it safe to say like if you like Parks and Rec and that kind of stuff, you probably would like this. If for some reason I'm one of those people that have seen all of Parks and Rec like twice, seen basically none of Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and it's good. I mean, Jimmy, you just talked Brooklyn Nine up so much that I hipstered it and was like, fine, well, I'm not going to watch it because everyone else thinks it's cool.
Yeah, it's that and Schitt's Creek with you assholes.
Yeah, it's weird that there's like, to go back to like Hacks on HBO, like there's no relation between Hacks and any of these like NBC shows. But like for whatever reason, when I watch that, I'm just like, I think that people that have seen these other shows would like this too. Like even though there's no like related writers or anything, like it's just the same kind of like quick, funny jokes and like care for each character and nobody's a bad guy. It's just like, yeah, great. I'm into
Michael
that.
sure has got his thing.
Yeah.
Is that also a single cam?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Can someone to
Access?
tell me what a single cam?
No.
I'm kidding. Sorry.
No one knows what it means.
It's impossible. Michelle, important enough. Most importantly, I think. Were
Yes.
you pleased with this last episode?
Oh my gosh, yes. I thought
Yeah,
it was
the
a
first time you've
wonderful
seen the finale.
culmination.
Mhm.
Yeah, I thought it was a wonderful culmination. I shed the appropriate amount of tears because it did get emotional. And even I think so Andy, Jake got emotional, and I think that was true emotion, not like acting emotion, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I also like to think that they're all best friends and are like actually sad that it's ending.
Yeah.
If you watch their Instagram accounts, it seems like they're all
Yeah.
like super, like pretty close, pretty silly.
But anywho, so nope, I thought it was a great culmination. I'm sad it's over, but happy it happened. You know, whatever that saying. Don't cry because it's
Better
over.
to
Smile
love
because it
than
happened.
lost than
Yeah.
to never have watched
Yeah, that's-
Brooklyn Nine-Nine
That's
before.
the one.
I
That's the
wonder
Yeah.
what I wonder what they all have going on next, because it seems
Yeah.
like there's a lot of talented
know.
people there that I would
I
watch.
think
all of
Rosa
their
is
shows.
in some stuff. Oh, Rosa was in the Heights movie.
Oh, she was?
Yep.
Oh,
the,
I never watched
the
that.
movie musical. I watched it,
Well,
of course,
me.
without you.
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
that was supposed to be great. Although it got some bad
It
press.
did get some bad press, but it was good for a movie musical. But I don't know what everybody else is doing.
Yeah, I really like
Adelbert
everybody.
Sambelberg is gonna go back to Lonely Island.
Oh, you know who who else we didn't see besides Craig Robinson is Holt's husband Kevin.
Yes.
We saw him in tattoo form in
Kevin-
form of a tramp stamp.
Cosner.
I've never seen. Oh, is that where that Costner
Yeah.
joke was?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's what hit Holt's
I didn't understand the Kevin
husband's name.
Costner joke.
And that's Mark Evan Jackson, who he
He's
plays
also in
like
The Good Place.
he's like the devil in Good Place. Not a devil,
Yeah,
but like
he's
a demon.
The head demon.
He's very dry,
Yeah.
like that, like skinny white guy, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's kind of like red hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
He's great.
He's awesome.
Kevin. He's a like history professor or something.
Yeah.
Kevin Cosner.
Him
And their
Holt are
dog,
great.
their Welsh corgi dog, Cheddar.
That's a pretty. That's a really good dog name, by the way. Like
Yeah.
especially a corgi
Cheddar,
name,
yeah.
Cheddar. That's a
Cheddar.
good dog name. That was
But-
great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All in all, yeah, I watched like 10, 12 episodes of the show. I want to watch more. I'm still on the train. Obviously, you
think you
two,
should do
Jimmy and Michelle, have watched all of it. The question is, Joe, are you going to watch any of this show? Or just the heist episodes?
I'm definitely gonna watch some holiday episodes.
Yeah.
You know, starting with heist episodes and Halloween. I'm interested about season 9, and just to see
It's
like
not a thing. Season 9
Season
doesn't
8.
exist.
season 8.
Season 8, yeah.
I want to see one more season, so we'll see where season 9
We
goes.
Joe's
all
gonna
do.
film his own season 9 of Brooklyn.
I'm interested
Nine-Nine.
interested to see season 9 and you know,
Joe's fanfic is basically what we're talking about.
how they deal with things, and see if that's actually funny, because there's a possibility that they try to deal with things and it's not funny at all. But I'm at least interested in like the there's some what's the word I'm looking for here? There's some guts in trying to take a funny cop show and try to address real things, because TV cops are very different than what actual cops are. So to try to meld between the two is a very difficult challenge. So I'm interested in that at least.
Well,
Yeah.
especially how like off the walls this show is
Mm-hmm.
too in general.
Mhm.
So, but I think it'll work well. I think I think
So-
I think it'll mix well.
Yeah, so my most likely scenario is I watch through some heist episodes and then I watch season 9, and then if I like season I keep saying season 9, it's not a thing.
just keep it.
Final
Listeners, every
season.
time he
I
says the episode number
Watch the
9, he
final
means 8.
season.
I watch the final season, and then if I like that, then maybe I'll go back through the show.
Okay,
So good.
sounds like a fun. Joe, you want to do a spin-off little like webisode podcast where you just talk about every episode in season 9 of
Shit, yeah. Peralta forgets to turn on his body cam, and
He didn't forget.
That is
That's
bad.
the problem.
Yeah.
Should we see how we did for predictions?
Let's do it.
Yes, sir.
All right. Joe, you went first last time.
I did. I had Everybody Is Moving On, which,
Not quite.
like
Man.
had the vibe of like this is the end of the 9/9, but like figuratively
This is
not
the
everyone is moving on,
end.
because the biggest one is that Terry is actually becoming the new boss of the 9/9, so he's for sure sticking
Right.
around.
And Charles is still there.
Yeah, so no, not everybody.
Yeah, like 0.7 points on that.
Yeah, I would say like 0.1, like in spirit, but like not really.
Well,
Which
let's-
at the end, I just want to interject another funny part,
Yeah.
was like Charles was sitting there in the like briefing room, and then he had his like new sidekick partner who was
Oh,
like
that's
throwing
right.
out all these nicknames for like him and Charles for this thing, and
Yeah.
Charles used to do that to Jake, so
Oh,
that was
man.
like
That
a
was
nice
Charles's
fun, like,
bit. Yep.
He was like, "We're the Bandit Boys," or
Yeah.
like some
Yeah.
silly
Charles
alliteration names.
Charles is enough to watch this just entire series.
Oh my gosh.
Anyways, I'm sorry. Continue, Joe, with your points.
So yeah, that's not a point I would say. Terry shirtless, which he made some references to himself, like, like busting out of his shirt and like being jacked and stuff, but like,
And he busted through a wall like the Kool-Aid Man.
yeah. So like no actual
I can see clips of
shirtlessness.
him busting through the wall as a Kool-Aid Man, like, even though it was fake. Like, I could see just him doing that, like, in different walls. I could see, like, a 30-minute episode of that.
Yeah, I'd watch it.
Just get it going.
Terry,
Peralta has a child, which he does. Him and Amy have a child, Tom or something.
Max.
Mac.
Mac. Tom.
Tom
Thomas Cruise.
Tom Peralta. So
Peralta.
+1 for Peralta as a child. And then time jump to the future. There was like
You were faked out
Yeah, it was a
once.
fake out time jump, but then at the end there is a 1 year later time jump.
Still gets a point.
So I think that counts. So that's 2 points.
Hell yeah. Way
Yeah.
to go.
Wow. Nice.
Way to do 2 points better than me, Joe. I said Santiago and Jake wear a crazy duo costume. And that was like, I was like, in a weird way, I was right that they were together.
They're
But I
together. I
didn't
was
want
surprised.
to.
Their costume
true.
is marriage.
Yeah, their
I was kind of
costume.
surprised by that.
Like a
They're
lot of
pulling
couples
together.
costume.
There's a will they, won't they for a while.
Charles and Rosa are together forever.
That's a negative.
That's definitely a negative.
Yeah.
I thought for a second I was going to get Holt retires, but he just got a promotion to deputy commish. Gina becomes a political figure. She just became
She's
really
just
rich.
like she's like an influencer or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah,
I don't really
just-
know.
Yeah,
She's
that
just
makes
rich.
that really works
Classic.
out for her character.
That's so funny.
Right.
Yet another reveal. And then finally Terry eats a whole wedding cake.
Nope.
Damn.
Terry
That was
didn't
my
eat.
way of going with a wedding for the end, but not
Sure.
saying wedding. 0.
Ooh.
Not gonna win this
I
season.
did do a like side note about wedding cakes. Like I had a wedding cake recently, and like
Sure.
I what I called free willied it, in that
You
like I
jumped
just-
over it.
A little kid was standing and pointing, and
You
you,
put the
jumped
There was
over.
a small child on your cake,
You put the cake on the ground and you jumped over
and
it.
you
Like
leaped from
That's way better. That's way
Jordan.
better than what I actually did.
What? How did you free willy?
Because in the movie Free Willy, they're like homeless kids, and like they like the first few minutes they like steal a wedding cake, and they're just like eating it at a skate park.
Ah.
I don't know if you
He's-
know Free Willy
yes,
that well.
he's
No,
right.
I don't know
He is
Free Willy
right.
that well.
Don't remember that part.
Great
It's a
scene.
formative movie.
Um,
of my
Michael
childhood.
Jackson there? Yeah,
Oh,
kids.
No.
Cool
Stop.
cake
But
kids.
what I mean by free willing it is I just like I took my hand and just like shoved it in the middle of the cake and just was just eating it by the handful, which is something I've wanted to do my entire life, and it was
That's fantastic.
as
Because of Free
great
Willy?
as you would imagine.
Oh my gosh. Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Who's next?
I think it's me. I think it's me.
Michelle.
Okay, so Jake retires.
Truth.
Point.
Yeah, I guess so.
Which, for the record, that was not clear that was going to happen leading
No,
up to it.
Not clear.
That was. I mean, in the last season,
I don't.
even.
Yeah.
There was
I don't think
like
it was.
so
It was
Anyways.
it was a mid episode reveal of this episode.
right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm not. Hey, take take 4 points, Michelle. You're not vying for first place this season,
Just
so I'm not too worried
I'm
about
just
it.
saying.
4 points
point.
might do it though.
Honestly,
Oh, yeah. If you get all 4.
I had someone dresses up in a costume. Yes. Jake was in a costume at the end. There was
so it
costumes
was
all
Halloween
over the
at the
place.
end.
As far as me and Joe were concerned, Charles was in a homeless man costume the whole time.
Man, that's wild. Still thought that was
Joe's
him.
brain is still blown. So
Oh.
2, Gina makes an elaborate entrance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
made like 5.
She had like 5
Yeah.
elaborate entrances.
You might
It
have
was
9 points right now.
fantastic. Yeah, 1 point per entrance. And then I said Scully and Hitchcock are sitting down every time we see them, and that was unfortunately not true. So I have 3 points.
Wait,
Yeah.
when did they stand up?
When they were running around, Scully like got a clue off by the
Okay, I guess
headstone
he
when they
did
were in
get
the
And
up
he like
graveyard.
got
Yeah.
in their
He, like, got
car,
in
so
the
he
car.
was standing
Okay.
from.
Yeah.
There is an episode
But there was a lot of sitting.
where they specifically, they bet Rosa that they can all sit in their chairs all day, and they have rolly chairs, so they're just rolling around, and then they order food, but they won't come into the precincts, so they have to they roll their chairs. Like,
Into the elevator.
yeah,
So
3
three,
points.
three
Good
for
job.
4.
Sorry
That's
about
pretty good.
nice. Much better than I did. I thought Jake was gonna do a movie monologue. He did reference Bruce Willis a lot from Die Hard, but
I was hoping Bruce Willis was going to show up for like
I thought
3
maybe.
seconds.
Yeah, they teased it a few times.
and then it was just Teddy.
Wah wah.
I said Jake wears a tie. He did not.
He had a tie, but he
yeah,
did
he
not wear
had
it.
his tie. Was gonna be a gift.
Right,
to
which he like
Holt.
referenced. That was like the first time we met Captain Holt.
Yeah,
So you were so
I
close.
thought Amy was gonna take out a bad guy. It was a heist episode, so there were no bad guys except for each other. Which is also a weird thing about the heist episodes. I've never really thought about. And then I said Gina would ask if someone had a gay vibe. She did not. There was a thing where she pulled out her teeth. I don't remember what that's in reference to.
I think they got smashed out in a different heist. I think
Oh,
she has like
yeah.
fake teeth, but I'm not 100% sure about that.
Yeah, I was like, she removed her teeth all of a sudden.
Yeah. Okay.
I win the
I think that's
episode.
plenty.
Winner of
You did
today's
win.
episode.
You did it.
is
Hey, when
Michelle.
you're a guest appearance, that's all I can hope for. I'm not winning this season. It's fine.
You're not, but you won the episode. And normally there's just usually 3 losers in the episode. So,
Well,
Yep.
or Jimmy's,
Big ol'
or
goose
Jimmy's
for me.
wailing.
Am I? I was a goose, so.
Oh yeah, I got a goose. We goosed. All right, listeners. Thank you for attending this podcast with us. We appreciate your ears.
Good ears.
Very attractive ears.
Could
Yeah.
take or leave your eyes. If I'm gonna be honest,
Don't need them.
don't need them.
this is why I don't
For
come
this
around, you
medium.
guys. You're just too weird.
That's fair.
I haven't checked the schedule, but I think this is episode 24.
Yep.
So we've got one more TV show for the season 8, and then we're off to first and last season 8.
Wow.
Wow. The Reckoning.
The Reckoning.
What is
Who would have thought?
I can't even
I feel like
think
we've
of a
done
thing
a
with
Reckoning
8.
already. If I'm
Probably.
gonna be
Fast and
honest.
Furious probably has 8.
Oh,
yeah.
for sure has 8. What was
Oh.
it? Was just Fast 8? What was
Fast
8?
8.
Fate of the Furious.
Fate of the
Oh, thanks,
Lasties.
All right. Well,
Fate
let's
of the
not.
Firsties?
Let's brainstorm this later.
Workshop.
Listeners,
Yeah.
if you want to
Workshop
do a show suggestion, it's hard to say. Still 209 episodes. Still hard to say. You can hit us up at F&L Podcast on the Gmail or on the Twitter. Also, just talk to us if you like. Joe's lonely. He has no more wedding cake left.
Talk to me about Free Willy.
He didn't get married. He just
Yeah.
bought himself a wedding cake.
Tell me your orca takes.
Oh.
So, in all honesty, if you want to send us short 2 to 5 second clips of you freewheeling a cake and whatever you think that means,
Oh.
because we found
Don't
out that
open that up.
we found out 4 people in this room definitely think that means something completely different.
Man, now I want to watch Free Willy.
You can do that. Okay, I'm going to end this episode. Thank you for listening. We'll see you next week for the final episode, TV episode of Season 8. Goodbye. Oh, Michelle, you don't even say goodbye?
Oh, bye.
These other two jabronis don't say goodbye.